Alright, so today's video we're going to be rebuilding this pair of Zokes Gen 2. They came off of my MM12P. I'm going to try to make this video as quick but still give you all the information you need to get the job done. So once your fork's off the bike, this is where you're obviously going to want to start, so let's get into it. So I choose to use some Bel-Ray fork oil, 5 weight. These Zokes usually come with 5 weight in them. I've seen guys run 7.5 weight all the way up to 10 weight depending on your weight. I would say if you're about 170 pounds or above, go ahead and try the 10 weight, but I'm going to use this 5 weight just because it's what I use in the big bikes and that's what they come with, and I'm only about 145 pounds with gear on. We got the all balls, fork seals. You can run whatever brand you prefer, SFK, all balls. These are good. I've had good luck with them. Alright, so here we are right next to the vise, but instead of using the vise, I'm going to do something that might work better for everyone else. Just because if you don't have a vise with the right clamps, there's a special pieces that you put in so when you clamp down on this it doesn't scratch it, but not everybody has those pieces, so you can just use your clamps, slide the fork up in there, and if you don't have the right size, I believe this is like a 27 or something like that, I don't have a big socket, so you can use a adjustable. Just be very careful with it, make sure this thing's tightened down good evenly on there. And then I'm really anal, so I just put a little bit of electrical tape on there just like that, and then when you go to take it off, you don't have to worry about it scratching it up. They shouldn't be that tight on there anyway, but go ahead, and this one I already loosened up, but it really wasn't that tight, to be honest with you. So there you go, I just put that on there, make sure it's good, and then obviously make sure your triple clamps are tight. That should just come off just like that, pretty simple. And then you can go ahead and do the rest by hand once you get it to this point right here. So let's get this off. We'll drain out the oil. This is the time when you want to grab a bucket or something that you can drain it into. And then I always like to have a look and just see how much oil was in there before, just to get a reference of how much needs to be in there, because not everybody knows how to measure it from the top once you put the other stuff in there. So that's something to keep in mind too. Alright, we got the forks on the bench. Now this one you want to unscrew the top cap and gently slide down the fork tube, and then you're gonna want to pull on this hard, and it's a 19 millimeter, and you'll be able to slide the 19 in and it'll lock in place. Just make sure you slide it all the way in. I'll show you how that's done right now. Just make sure this ain't gonna move. Slide out from underneath, just like so. And then you can let go just like that. And the top's a 27 millimeter. I don't recommend doing what I'm doing. I'm just in a rush today. I have a race tomorrow. I taped it off just because I don't want it to scratch. But I don't recommend using this. Go find the 27 millimeter and then do it the right way. This is already loose too. I already did it just because for the ease of the video and just to make things a little bit quicker. So you pop off the top cap all the way off. Now this piece right here where the 19 is adjustable high and low. That just depends how much extra spring tension you want. I don't know where this one's set. This is the first time taking them apart, but we'll find out. It looks like it might be all the way down. So then you go and pull down. Be careful because it's going to want to release. Now I got rid of some of the fork oil already because when I went to sprint that top bolt, I laid it on the side and I held this, and because it's hard if you're doing it by yourself. So you go ahead and pull off this top, and when you're taking this all apart, just remember the way you took it apart. I like to just keep everything on the bench where it needs to be. And then, so let's see where this was. Almost all the way down, but I'm just going to leave it where it's at for now. Now here's your the spring, obviously. I'm trying to see how much oil's in here, so I'm actually just going to pop that right in here for now. And now this is the dampening rod right here. You can pull that out, because if you don't pull it out now, when you go to tip the fork up, it's just going to fall out. Not the biggest deal if it does, but just trying to keep everything nice and neat, just like so. Now we'll go ahead and empty it out. Let's see how much is in here. Okay, so we got the fork oil all emptied out, and then I put it into the ratio right cup. This was the one that was leaking, so it's about 250 millimeters I'd have to say that was in there, because not much leaks out. It wasn't leaking for that long, just one race. So I'm going to take that into account. I'm also going to measure it. Like I said, I'm going to probably go with like 75 millimeters from the top down. Measure that once the fork oil's this high. You're going to want to take it and measure it to make sure. Then you can add some or take some out as needed. But let's get on to the next step. Now you're going to want to take. Alright, so you can go ahead and take your screwdriver and then carefully pop this off. I usually just put my hand on there and give it a good tap. Real quick, just like that. Comes right off. So the next part, I'll show you. Bring this over to the edge. Get it down like this. So inside here, there's going to be a little retaining clip, it's called. See it right on the edge right there. You're going to want to take a little flathead screwdriver and carefully pop that off. That'll come out. Obviously, don't scratch the fork tube. A nice DLC coated tube. Don't scratch that. You'll be good to go. I'll show you how that's done. Right, I hope you guys will be able to see this, but this is what I'm using. Just a little flathead like this. Be very careful. I've done this a bunch of times, so it might look a little easier for me to get it done, but last thing you want to do is scratch the fork tube on the inside, so I'm being super careful when I do this. And you just kind of lift it off just like that. See? Comes out. Just be super careful. You don't want to scratch the fork tube. And then boom. Hope you guys can see that. You can take this off or leave it on. I usually just take them right off just because it's easier. Get it out of the way. So just pull it off like that. Make sure it don't scratch the fork tube. Gotta keep saying. Just like that. And then now the fun part. So what you're going to want to do now is literally have someone hold this end or that end and just pull them apart. I guess I'll try to do it on video, see if I make a mess or not. But let's see. Here we go. On the count of 3, we're just going to give it a good tug. You just got to be quick with it. That thing will come right out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Just like that. See that? Boom. Okay, now that the forks are apart, you got the lower separated from the top. You're going to want to clean out this piece really good. Take some brake cleaner, clean that good before you put it back together. The next part here, I recommend either taking a picture or just making sure when you lay things out after you take it off of here, you know the orientation, it goes back together. So this part, you just spread it with your fingers like this, the first bushing. Just make sure you do it evenly, carefully, not to scratch anything, because this is important. Sometimes they give you a little bit of trouble when they're not coming off even, but I usually just take my time like this. Don't try to rush it. Boom, there's the first piece, so I flip that upside down right there. Your next piece to come off is going to be this one here. Just put that on top of there. Just like the same way it came off. Same direction and everything. Just like that. Boom. And you're going to pull off the washer. Same thing there. Put that down. And now here's your old seal, so you can just rip these off right here. Something to keep in mind, I'll tell you this again when I go to put them on, but you need a tool for it, or you can do what I did and just make your own. Use a piece of plastic bag. I'll show you how to do that. Wow, this seal was so sloppy. Look at this thing, so loose. I wonder why it was already leaking. This one too. So there's the old seal, guys. Boom. That's the one fork leg. Same thing for the other one. And now I'll show you how to put everything back together. I'm going to go ahead and clean everything up, get everything nice and clean, and then I'll be right back. Everything's all cleaned up. I took brake cleaner, clean the lowers, clean the tubes inside out. You got to make sure they're nice and clean. Cleaned all the bushings off, and then put some fork oil on my fingers, and then went over it just so everything slides on good. No metal to metal without any lubricant in between. Got my fork seals ready. The most important part is to get everything all cleaned up and nice like this, because that just makes reassembly much easier. So let's get right into it. I'm going to show you this little trick if you don't have the tool to slide the fork seal and the dust seal over this, but this is easy. You just gotta pay attention to what I do there and you'll be good to go. So this is what I'm going to use for the fork seal driver. I'm going to just cut it right down the middle, split it, and then I'll be able to put this on the fork tube and then slide it to slide the seal into the lower tubes. They make a tool for this too. You can get that if you want, but I just don't have it handy with me right now. This is the first time I'm doing fork seals on the Pitbike. I do them on big bikes all the time. So I've made them for the big bikes with PVC just like that. So this one happens to work perfect. I'll split that right down the middle. You'll see how I do that. So this is what I came up with. This was just a piece from a brake bleeder. Perfect size. I cut it down, made the ends nice and smooth. So that's what I came up with. See how it fits right inside the ends like this. Now you can use this to drive the seal in. Now you can even tap. Next step, after everything's nice and clean, this is where the sandwich bag comes into play. Rip the end off of it, slide it over like this, spin it around, lube it up with the fork oil, just like I'm doing here. Make sure you don't be scared to put a bunch on there. And then when you put it on, just turn it, like almost like you're screwing it on, just so it doesn't get stuck on the bag. And you'll see, ready? So you just gotta be careful, that's all, because you don't wanna pinch the edge on anything. So this is exactly how I usually do it. I just kind of go over it, and then this is where it gets tough. You're going to want to spin it sideways a little bit, like that. And then keep spinning so it just slides. See now how it got stuck on the bag a little bit? That's why I say just spin it like that. And then there you are. See how the plastic bag does its thing? Boom. Now you can bring that down. But we got one more. So that's obviously the dust seal. And then we got the fork seal right here. Don't be afraid to put a little bit more on there, just like that. Hold it nice and tight. Make sure you got the right side going in. And then start on a corner of it. And then make sure you keep it at an angle the whole time. And then turn. Just like so. Boom. Pretty simple. Right? There you go. Look at that. Now you can keep them guys together just like so. Bring them down to the bottom if you want. Whatever you want to do. Pull this off. Repeat on the next side. So now after this, we're going to go ahead and put the reverse order of how things went together. So the first thing to go on here will be this ring. Drop that right down. I'm actually going to bring my seals back up just to hold this in place so it doesn't go too far down. And then I'm going to take the next one. There's a little bit of lubricant on there already. You go ahead and put that one on. Drops down right there like so. Next one will go on after that. This one right here. Just open it up just ever so slightly. Slide that down, careful. Make sure it's moving just like so. Don't be afraid to put a little bit more on there if you need to. So there it is. There's the stack, just like that. That's exactly how it came apart, okay? So now make sure that's all cleaned off after, because you don't want too much oil. That was just to slide them on. Now you can go ahead and finish putting the rest of it back together. Now you can go ahead and grab your spring. This is the way I do it. Just hold it upside down because the dampening rod will slide back in. And then just go ahead and grab your spring just like so. Just try not to make it go in, because then you won't be able to grab it, you know. So, and then you just flip it upside down like so. Now you got your tension back on there. I'm going to run the piece all the way down at the bottom just to put as much tension on the spring. I'm not sure what springs these are in here, but I want it stiff as I can possibly get it. The spring's on. Don't forget to hold it so it doesn't fall back down. You're going to want to go ahead and put your dampening rod in. Make sure it's nice and clean. This one already cleaned off with brake cleaner, everything. All the components got cleaned. Boom, there's the dampening rod in there. Now the fun part. You can grab the tube right here, going on. I'm going to lean it on its side in the hopes that I don't lose the dampening rod all the way down. Alright, so I make sure, double check in there, make sure it's really clean too before you go ahead and put it all back together. That's going to be it. And one more thing I'm going to do is just take a little bit more fluid and just throw it on this bushing right here, and then this other bushing, and then go ahead and slide the fork tube on carefully, of course. See that? Now you can feel how nice it sits in there. Now bop that all the way down to the bottom, all the way down just like that. And after, don't forget about this piece. I'll be putting this on at the end, but I always take it off so it doesn't scratch up the fork tube in the middle of doing things. So here's where we're at. Now grab your plastic piece, the one we took off before. That's going to go on too. Try to hold the thing from falling like so. And this is going to be the fun part. Holding this down. So let me see if I can do this on video so you guys can see this. So you pull that down as good as you can get it. Slide that piece over. Take your 19 mil. Gotta be careful yet. Better race tomorrow. Can't be losing any teeth. Now we're good. Then you can go ahead and put this on. Tighten that baby right up. I'm running the piece all the way down at the bottom as tight as that thing can go. Just like that. Boom. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down. I'm going to need to put, okay, that's all tightened up. I'm going to just screw this in lightly just so I can flip this upside down right now. Now I'm going to go ahead and drive the fork seal in with the little custom tool that I made. I put a tiny bit of fork oil. Make sure this is on the outer ring too, because you don't want to damage this fork seal, obviously. So let's see how easy this wants to go into place for me. That's it. That's it, guys. Boom. It's in there. You can tap it around the edges if you want to, but I felt it go in there nice and smooth, so I'm okay with that. Now I'll just work it around the edge and just hold in tight against the fork tube just to make sure I'm not pinching that new fork seal. Now you can go ahead and put the ring inside. Perfect. See, it's not coming back out. Now take this ring. Let me see if I can rest this on the old noggin. Spread it enough. You don't want to scratch the lowers, especially when you get nice DLC coatings like this one. And then just take your fingers and you can just work it in there just like that. And then you can even take a little Phillips head or something, but be very careful when you do this because this is your new seal here. Ow, hurt my finger. Pinched it a little bit, but there you go. So that's in on that side, and that's in on that side. Don't know if you can see it in there, but it's in there. Now you can double check. Just kind of press up and down on it like so, just to make sure it's doing what it needs to do. Clean it off, and now you're good to go. All you have to do at this point is just take your dust seal, bring that on down like this, and then you just go ahead and pop that in with your fingertips like so, and then you're done, other than putting the oil in. So I'll show you guys how the oil is gonna fill up. Like I said, I'm gonna use 250 cc's is basically what came out of it. So that's what I'm going to put back in, and then I'm going to double check it, measure it. Like I said, I'm going to do 75 millimeters from the top full, and then I'll see how much 250 milliliters is anyway. But you can do like different fork oils, like weight wise, and different height on from the top, like anywhere from 70 to 90. I've seen people run more and all in between, so that's just what my preference is going to be, and I'll test it this tomorrow at the race and see how it is. So let's get some fork oil in here. Now that we did that, we can loosen up this cap again. And then we'll pull the fork down on the tube like this. Just nice and carefully because we got brand new seals in there. So bring that thing down. And then we're going to want to fill it up. And then we're going to check it after that. So let's go ahead and put that oil in. So here is 250 cc's. That's roughly what I took out. Like I said, I'm going to double check it and measure it. But this will probably fill all the way up, and you'll have to move the dampening rod up and down just to relieve some of the air bubbles that are going to be in it right now. But it's cool to know exactly how much came out and how much you're going to put back in that way. See, look at it, just filled all the way to the top. There it goes. It's bubbling down right now, guys. Boom. So let's see if it'll drink it without having to use the dampening rod. What I usually do is, after I'll get the air, I'll just flip the fork and just press it down a bunch of times, and I have the air bleeders right here. So that's all you need to do after to get the air out, but shouldn't be too bad. So there it is, 250 cc's is in there, or about to be in there once it settles down. And then after this, all you have to do, guys, is tighten up the top cap again, and you're good to go. That's basically full fork job in the simplest form right there. Like I said, you can use whatever fork oil you want. whatever your specification is, you know, like if you're a heavier rider, go with some heavier fork oil. If you're a lighter rider, you know, go with some lighter fork oil. Like me, I get the 5-weight. All 250 millimeters, drink it right up. Some people do it different ways, but I have it like this. What I usually do is I just take it and I'll go like this a bunch of times until it drinks it all, and then basically just shut it like I'm gonna do now. And then since I have the fork bleeders, all you have to do is really just pump the shock a bunch of times, and then once you've pumped it a whole bunch of times, the air will be out. But either way, the air will go out after you ride it one time and throw it back on the stand and let the bleeders open the bleeders. It will all come out anyway. So that's 250 milliliters in there. I'm gonna go with that because that's what was in there before, and seems like a good number to me. I'm not even gonna worry about doing the height because the other one had no oil in it and this one had 230 millimeters, so anything's gonna be better than the way it was. And I'm kind of in a time crunch, and I feel like switching this stuff out eventually for some maybe like 10 weight or something, because I go pretty big on these bikes, so I want something maybe a little bit stiffer. But I'll show you what I mean by this now. So basically all you have to do at this point to get the rest of the air out is just take the fork and just pump it up a ton of times, and then eventually, ready, let's see if you can hear it. Yeah, no air in there, but there will be air in there unless I already got it all out. But what I usually do is just see if I can make some air come out. Ready? Nope, no air. I must have got it all out. But there it is, guys. Fork seal is done, top to bottom. Only thing I got left to do is just set the clickers, tighten the top clamp, throw it in the bike, and we're good to go. So if you guys made it to the end, I really appreciate it. All the new subscribers, I appreciate you watching my videos, and don't forget to comment on the video and let me know how I'm doing. I really appreciate it. It helps my channel grow. The likes help as well. And if this video was helpful to you, don't forget to share it, and stay tuned for the next one. Tomorrow's the Pitbike race, so I'll have some footage going up soon. Today's Friday, tomorrow's Saturday, so hopefully at the beginning of the week I'll have some footage from this weekend's race, and I'll let you guys know how I did. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to consider subscribing.